4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, Ranch here, bringing all another Zerg commentary. This is going to be the first set in Group D of the innate MSL round of 32. And we're going to have a ZVZ for y'all on Odd Eye. Jaedong at the upper right-hand corner as the yellow Zerg. That means we have at the lower right-hand position, we are going to have as the red Zerg, Crazy-Hydra. And Crazy-Hydra, apparently, just like myself, has a freaking cold. How very fitting in a certain weird way. Yeah, it's why you didn't get this commentary a day earlier, because I had a pretty bad cold. It's still there, but it's bearable now. And I'm not actually going to be doing Group F, Bisu and Savior's group. Group F is going to be covered by Diggity. I assume that's going to be up fairly soon enough. You can check that out on his channel. So it's going to be up there soon enough, I'm guessing. So just go there. Some guy that claims he's luxury that says there's something. So let's talk about this matchup. Well, this group, we got Jaedong against Crazy-Hydra. Then we have July playing in the second matchup against the Protoss players. So I gotta give the heavy-hitting Zergs advantage here on Odd Eye 2. It's a fairly long distance to travel between. It's a two-player map, but fairly long distance to travel. So Mutalisk play, well, there could be a lot of aerial battles in the middle. It's kind of hard. Really got to be careful how you can stay in position. And that's either an Estonian or a Finnish guy. I have no idea. Might be completely wrong. Looked like Finnish to me, but what do I know? Let's see. Apparently, both players going for both players playing risky. Both players going for 12 hatches. I was going to mention something about Jaedong losing a lot by going 12 hatch lately, but apparently feels that with the insanely long distance of the map, both players feel that it's safe enough to go here. Crazy-Hydra has, I think he just has around just under 20 pro games under his belt. Fairly new player. And ZVZ by far his worst matchup. Only hasn't had a lot of games there at this level, so not really sure how good of a judge that is of his actual capabilities. Both players now adding their spawning pools. Jaedong alongside Extractor. There you go. Crazy-Hydra's Extractor as well. We're going to see what I end up calling him. Just Crazy-Hydra all the time, or Crazy, or Hydra. Probably Crazy or Crazy-Hydra, however many words I'm going to have to be fitting into a sentence at the same time. But yeah, just with the distance of the maps, I look forward to seeing what sort of ZVZ play comes into being here. Just with the guys going fairly economic and getting their extractors up right now, I assume there's going to be a fairly bit of Mutalisk play. There should be Zerglings popping as soon as spawning pool comes up, though. So we're going to see whether both player decides to take straight away to lair or actually go for some speedling play early on. As you can see on the mini-map, and just as the observers are showing it, the overlords take a fairly long time to get across the map into the other's base, so neither players actually scouted each other's build yet. Jaedong gonna go, okay, both players gonna go full air, so this is gonna be just heavy mutas for both players, gonna be an aerial battle, and just all gonna come down to who manages to get into the other guy's base and do some economic damage without suffering any sort of economic damage himself. With just, I feel that's could be very interesting play simply because of the long distances, because oh, interesting. A lot of drones produced there by Jaedong alongside. Rather than getting the 6 Zerglings, he only got 2 and got a couple of drones alongside to get his economy going. But Crazy-Hydra is going to be moving out with his own 2 Zerglings, so Jaedong's going to have to be very careful to defend with only 2. He's going to have to possibly pull some drones off the line, although just with the long distances, it's going to take a little while for the Zerglings to get across. Just wondering, on this map, you either play aggressively, that is, you have your Mutalisks all over your opponent's base, and then you're going to force the other guy to play defensively, and it's probably going to stay that way throughout the base. Jaedong, they're getting his Zerglings caught in transit. It was sending them out to scout, going to spot the 6 Zerglings coming at him, which are actually apparently going to back off for now. But yeah, I really look forward to seeing what kind of mechanic that causes. Simply the fact that the long distances are going to, you are going to have a lot of battles around somewhere in the middle, or perhaps near the base of one of the players. Just surrounding one of the players, and if one guy manages to defend, even if he manages to fight off a large group of Mutalists and then go for an aggressive maneuver, you could see the other guy have enough time, simply because of the distance, to put up a defense, whether we're talking ground forces or aerial forces. I'm seeing that on both sides. Both players actually getting quite a large number of Zerglings on the ground. Jaedong now getting his Extractor. Crazy-Hydra not quite following suit. Both guys have their Spires on the way. So Jaedong is definitely going to go for heavy Mutalisk play. He is getting a bunch of Zerglings on the ground. Crazy-Hydra adding his second Extractor alongside now as well. And Crazy-Hydra has Speedlings. I'm not quite sure whether Jaedong did exactly the same thing. Get a Speed. He's actually has a gigantic just line of Zerglings with one guy acting behind as a quarterback or a linebacker or whatever. I don't know American sports unless it's baseball and hockey, so what the hell. It's one gigantic wall of China made of zerglings with one Chinese general behind going tok, 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 tok. Oh, okay, that was more of a chicken than a Chinese guy. Okay, let's see. Extractors coming up. Both players just putting their drones right into their extractors to get their second gas. We're going to be seeing some mutas pop in right now on both sides. Okay, Crazy-Hydra Spire just a few seconds behind. That shouldn't have too much of an effect. He's not going to be able to pull off the early aggressive maneuver. He is going to spot the eggs most likely with his scout, but he's not going to have the early aggressive maneuver. He is going to be forced to play a little bit defensively. I'm going to have to float his zerglings, his mutalisks, around his own base. And the way I'm seeing both guys going for this heavy economic builds, we are going to most likely see a fairly long ZVZ here. Jaedong getting, I believe that was 5 or 6 mutalisks, going to start off by killing this overlord. Every little bit of advantage counts before he goes and tries to get. That gives a little bit of time to Crazy-Hydra, but Jaedong will definitely take it to kill some supply counts. That means he's going to lower the amount. Crazy-Hydra is going to respond by doing exactly the same, killing the scouting overlord, so he's now going to be forced to fly back and get some defenses going. Jaedong apparently, is going to attack the second overlord as well, so he's just trying to get a little bit of advantage to have. Crazy-Hydra actually forced to produce a couple of Scourge. We're going to see how Jaedong reacts to this. His ZVZ weight hasn't been perfect, but I think that, I'm not quite sure whether that is simply to his mechanics or not. We're going to see whether he gets those Scourge, gets his Mutalisk caught in the Scourge or not. I'm also anxious to see how these Zerglings become a part of the game right now, because we're all seeing Mutalisk, Jaedong being very aggressive with Mutalisk, but he still has all of his Zerglings at his own base. And I'm wondering whether one player could take advantage of this fact and just move his Zerglings out, hide him in a location, force the Mutalisk back, and try to go for a break. Meanwhile, Jaedong's going to go for it, try to pick off as many Mutalisks as he can. Flying around, getting hit. Oh, microing pretty well against that one single Scourge blow. I think it didn't do as much damage in that one single attack as he wanted to. Definitely didn't pick off any drones. Might have killed a Zergling on the ground, but that's just attack damage they wanted actually to do against the Mutalisk. He is moving out with his own Zerglings down the ground, actually moving downwards. That is spotted. Crazy-Hydra not really putting out any sort of defensive line, though, to defend against this. You should be very careful. Jaedong getting a lot of Scourge alongside. Both players are trying to get a strong aerial force, and I feel that an important factor might be not who wins the aerial battle here, but who wins the ground battle alongside. Because, okay, both players have a large size of Mutas and Scourge alongside, but if Jaedong can, let's say Jaedong breaks the ground army of Crazy-Hydras, he's going to be able to run in with his Zerglings and force those Mutas back to defend the base, and that's going to give him a complete open space to attack the natural expansion and stop gas production there. That's already a pretty big advantage he's going to be able to take care of. Jaedong trying to get a scout inside of the main with his Zergling, but that gets pretty well prevented. Scattering information also a premium at this stage in the game, because Overlord's nowhere near each other's bases. They just get slaughtered in seconds. And Crazy-Hydra is picking a defensive posture, picking off random Zerglings. Jaedong going to try to go for an offensive here. Has his Scourge coming from the back. Scourge engaging Scourge. Oh, man. Crazy-Hydra getting some of his Mutalisk hit. And I think Jaedong actually did not lose any Mutalisk in that encounter, at least not to Scourge. Not the way that Crazy-Hydra wanted that encounter to go. Jaedong going to go and pick off some Scourge, pick off a drone, mining gas as well, getting hit by some of the Scourge. Scourge hitting each other on all sides. Hey, Crazy-Hydra overall coming out worse in that engagement. Has quite a lot fewer Mutalisks now. Jaedong going to go for the offensive here, continue microing pretty well. There's some Scourge coming in, try to assist him right now, possibly could push him back. He's going to fly back here as soon as the Scourge comes in. His own Scourge actually coming in, still doing enough damage on all sides. Crazy-Hydra finally going to push Jaedong back. Meanwhile, losing Mutalisks in the process due to even more Scourge. Jaedong, beautiful Scourge reinforcements coming in for his Mutalisk. Still doesn't have a huge number. Is going to go and try to pick off some gas mining drones. He already has picked off one. Crazy-Hydra should put one more drone to that gas mining, because even a little bit. Oh, Scourge coming in. Not quite. I think he did get damaged a little bit from those Scourge, even though he's trying to micro pretty well against them. And I think there's not a little advantage. Just taking out one single gas mining drone, especially if it hasn't been replaced yet, is already an advantage you're going to take. Creep Colony coming down for Crazy-Hydra. I'm not seeing an Evo Chamber anywhere, so I'm not sure if I saw an Evo Chamber in the main, so I'm not sure if this is actually for Spolkon. It could be for a second colony just in case those Zerglings decide to come in, but he is going for a frontal attack with those Zerglings. That is a sunken colony at the natural expansion. Mutal is still flying around defensive posture. Crazy-Hydra actually moving in with 2 Zerglings, checking out the wall, but they're going to be forced back. Actually moving his Zerglings into 2 different positions, possibly just to scout it for a while, because if Jaedong has a hidden base somewhere, he wants to find and make sure it's shut down in seconds. Actually, moving a lot of his zerglings back. So that sunken colony, let's just hope that for his case, that's not going to become wasted minerals. Could have actually been an extra Mulisk or two, or some extra zerglings he might have had in the ground, or even a drone that it could have added to some gas mining or some mining minerals. He definitely has replaced that natural expansion drone mining, at least at this point, but not mining many minerals there. Both players just going very, very heavy on troops off these two bases. The economies are going to stay fairly strong for now. Natural expansion is not really very saturated. That's what you generally see in ZVZs. Once the natural expansions become as heavily saturated as the mains, you generally see maybe even a progression into higher tech. Jaedong going to go for that 1130 or 12